dig number 6 of the Soul of an Artist excavation. So today my topic is keeping it simple. So much of the artwork I see and a lot of the artwork I do too is very involved and very complicated with a lot of product and a lot of layers, and I love that. But I also love to have a simplified process every now and then. So I thought we would do that today. There's so much wisdom in just keeping it simple. And, in this day and age, I think that we all, for sure, me, I should just speak for myself. I definitely have a tendency to complicate things. I'm really good at making things way more involved or harder than they need to be. And I've gotten much better at not doing that and just keeping things simple. So I wanted to show that in my artwork today. So I really love this kit of this. This is my Raw Edge Grunge kit of Jelly Prints, kit number 4. And this is in my Etsy shop, and I will go ahead and link that below. But I really wanted a dark background to showcase the leaf. I have that beautiful autumn leaf sprig that I picked up last fall, and I wanted to go ahead and use it today. So here, these are just some scrap pages that I ink spattered with India ink and let dry. I did that a long time ago, and I don't think I filmed it, but these are literally scraps from my Canson mixed media um, notebook. These are the scraps off the pages. So all the stuff that you come across that, looks like waste can really be used in creative ways. And I love that this community has so many videos on doing that. So on this page here, there's some white areas, and I'm just inking over them to kind of get rid of that because I do want it to be dark. I'm also using that 4 by 10 sheet that I showed earlier, and it's watercolor paper because, and you'll see it in a second, I'm actually gluing everything to it. And the reason I wanted to use watercolor paper is just because it's strong, but yet it's a very easy maneuverable way to make artwork. And you can frame this, or you can hang it all by itself by poking some holes and putting some string through it. I did not do any hanging mechanism on this project. I just went ahead and created the project itself. But I like to use Canson mixed media and watercolor paper this way, but this time I really did want this to have the stability of the watercolor paper. So, you know, it really is up to you what you want to put as a background, as your substrate for your artwork. And I'll use just about anything I can get my hands on. So I wanted to add this skeleton leaf. I'm on a huge skeleton leaf kick lately, and I just think they're beautiful. Now, these little scraps, this piece of artwork is so narrow, so I decided to kind of cut those down a little bit and make them just a tad bit narrower. I think that they fit the whole rectangle shape much better being cut down. So that's what I've done here with those. And then I just wanted to shorten that one a little bit. But what do you guys think of the skeleton leaves? I know that they are so beautiful that I have a tendency to overuse stuff when I'm really in love with it. We really need to find what we like and what we think are our favorites because, that defines us as artists too, using the things that we're really attracted to in ways that only we can use it. So I love that about art. You can see 10 different artists use skeleton leaves, and you're going to see 10 different ways of using skeleton leaves or anything. Now, what I'm doing here is you really want a good base of glue underneath your ephemera and leaves. So I'm just loading that up. And of course, I'm using the Mod Podge mat. And that's what I always use. I do like matte medium, but I prefer Mod Podge matte over matte medium just because it seals everything up really nice. Now it does leave a slight sheen. So if you don't like that sheen, you could actually try going over this with matte medium over the top of everything, and I bet it would knock that sheen right off. I have not tried it myself, but I'm sure I will in the near future. But if you want to resolve that for yourself, just go ahead and do it that way. Now, another thing I'm doing here is I'm using a really coarse old chip brush to apply the glue, and it's leaving, see how it's leaving the brush mark, it's leaving streaks in the finish. That is okay with me sometimes. And I'm using my tweezers. I use my tweezers all the time, and I highly recommend that you get a set and have it readily available for your mixed media art. It makes life so much easier. But back to the glue and the brush strokes. I don't always like brush strokes in my work. This is fun. Here are a couple of the leaves popped off. I got a little too rough with it. So the nice thing about those tweezers is you can just pop it right back into place. But I don't always like brush strokes in my artwork. In fact, pretty rarely do I like that. But every now and then it just gives that really unique look. And this piece is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it once it's all dry, but now that I've done the piece, it's got really nice streaks in it, and I think it just adds to the overall beauty of the whole piece. So, again, this just goes to show that you can keep stuff simple, and life doesn't have to be, we don't have to be, standing in the river holding a piece of plywood all the time, trying to fight what's happening in our lives. I had a friend tell me that a long time ago. He said, fighting life is like standing in the river holding a piece of plywood trying to stop the flow. And that has always stuck with me. And, my takeaway from that is to really simplify things. And, we live in such complicated, scary times, I think, anyway. I think these times are really scary, but to have the ability to not be taken in by the fear and to just not make everything so complicated and hard on ourselves. I think there's an awful lot to be said for that. So, simple, elegant artwork can really happen if we let it. And so much of my art, it's really about me getting out of the way and allowing the artwork to happen. So this piece here is already so dark, and I wanted it to have an even darker border. So of course I went ahead and used the black ink to border everything. And here I'm just showing you the beauty of this piece. And I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I hope that you take it easy on yourself and just keep stuff simple and do some really simple projects for yourself and enjoy this and make some, and I will see you next week.